Good evening and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers who are out there. I hope it was a wonderful day for all of you. It was a nice day for Lesley, and I think that's part of what I'd like to talk to you about. Today is the 12th of May. This is Journal 46 and T+40. So theoretically, I have just another 100 days to go before before we can go back home to Simi and Simi Valley, where we live, which is pretty exciting stuff. Uh, Today was an easy day. It was easy for a number of reasons, but they're all strange. Of course, you wouldn't expect much less from me, but um, they were all strange, and it was a nice day. It was an easy day. One of the reasons that it was an easy day, and this may sound terrible, but I don't think it is. Um, I can't go out in public for any length of time. Um, can't be amongst crowds of people for any length of time, even if I'm masked and gloved. There's just too much out there, too much bacteria, too many viral sources of infection. Um, I have to be very, very careful, and I'm trying really hard to make sure that there's nothing that's going to interfere with my being released in 100 days. Uh, I really do want to go home. More than that, I really want to be that far along on my road toward normal again. Uh, so we kept ourselves busy with what we normally do. Um, here at the hotel, and we had breakfast, and I took my meds, and um, probably around 11 o'clock, I guess, our daughter and son-in-law and our two grandkids, two of three grandkids, soon to be two of four grandkids, um, Sadie and Oliver came out, and they came out to take Lesley to lunch for Mother's Day, and it's important. It's important for caregivers to enjoy as much normalcy as possible because it's not an easy job. It's a very, very difficult job. It's stressful. There's a lot of anxiety involved in it. It's not, if you're not a professional caregiver, it's something you've never done before, hopefully. Um, and there's got to be a release. And it's while it's okay for me to be isolated because I'm the patient, I'm the one who's ill, and I can rationalize it. Um, part of part of the part of that sentence is that my caregiver, my wife, um, is also sentenced to that isolation, and it's important to me, at least, that she has some sense of normalcy in her life. And in that respect, we're talking about um, getting out and being around people, especially family, especially the grandkids, because they're the best medicine in the world. Um, Although it's going to be interesting to see if I can ever get them to hug and kiss me again, because right now they're not allowed to get close enough to do that, and that's really hard. So I was left alone for my own to my own devices for um, probably close to 4 hours, or at least three, and a little bit of a visit, um, a little bit of a visit when they got back here to the hotel, and you use that time. I try to use that time, that alone time, as constructively as possible. Uh, and there's a reason I put it that way, because it's very, very easy to use that time unproductively. Uh, this is not an easy um, pathology. Getting through the transplant process, um, and it would be easy to fall into the woe is me trap. It would be easy to say, oh, I'm stuck. I'm here by myself. I'm all alone. Everybody else is out having a good time, not me. Um, why did this have to happen to me? What am I going to do? How am I going to handle it? It's so unfair. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on, but I mean, I don't want to bore you with all of that. You can fill in the blanks. I'm sure you're all clever enough to do that. But rather than fall into a pit of self pity, um, which is, as I said, easy to do. I choose not to do that because it's not really productive. What does it accomplish? I mean, how do you benefit from that? How do you come out the other side of that tunnel feeling good about who you are, where you are, what you're doing, how it's working, and how you're going to get through it? It's just not productive. It's a matter of fact, it's as destructive as anything I can think of. So yeah, I meditated. I got through a bunch of emails that I needed to. I wrote a letter to my pen pal, and I try to use that time in as positive a way as I possibly can, recognizing that the situation is not ideal. But I'm also recognizing that it is ideal under the circumstances. In other words, while it's not a perfect situation, it's what I've got. And if I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons, I'd better go ahead and start figuring out how to do that, how to make that transition, how to make that happen. So I was able to go ahead and make that work. I was able to take that time today, use it constructively, use it in a positive way, without feeling sorry for myself, without shaking my fist at the sky and pulling a Job, you know, um, blaming God for all of this. I still remember that, but it's one of my favorite responses in Scripture is when God responds to Job and says, "Where were you when I made the world? What do you know about any of this stuff?" And I think most of us fall into that category of not really knowing. So it was an easy day and it was a good day, and there's a really strong chance that probably 80% of the population, maybe 75% of the population, would look at what happened today and first wonder what I see in it that's so beautiful and so positive and so positive in so many different ways, and would just look to see um, how I filled those hours and how I was able to keep a positive frame of mind and recognize how valuable every second is. And I think that's something that comes with um, being diagnosed with a difficult chronic situation. Um, I think it comes with facing death and how well you're able to do that. And the recognition that every minute, every second is critical helps you put a positive spin on just about anything because you're still here. And so, on that happy note, I will say thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Maybe think about that a little bit. Roll it around in your head and see what you come up with. Time is the only thing we got. The present is the only thing we got. Um, Letting fear rule your life is becoming crippled by something that may or may not happen. Um, Letting the past destroy your present or your future is getting neurotic about something that happened over which you have little or no control anymore. So stay in the present. Until the next time, stay well, take care. Over and out.